Hey kids, Dave coming at you direct from the Dave Cave with my very first toy review. That's right, I've got the DC Multiverse Lobo and Spacehog set. It's a gold label release from McFarlane Toys. We've got the main man himself, the last Zarnian, the big bad Bastich, the corrosive explosive Lobo here on his Spacehog with his little furry friend Dawg there. Cannot wait to crack this open for you guys. This was pretty difficult for me to track down. Had to get him from Hong Kong. Not able to get him here in Australia easily, sadly, but you know, here I am, swinging out the gates. My very first toy review, this brand new toy channel with this big bad set as my very first review. That's right, Lobo is popping my cherry tonight, folks. That's right, I could have picked someone more gentle for my first time, but I'm going with Lobo. This is going to be awesome. So all you need to do is kick back, relax, strap yourself in, and I'm going to get this guy open for you guys, and we're going to embark on our toy reviewing journey together. Catch you guys in a second. Hey guys, just before we get into the unboxing, I just want to do something a little bit different that a lot of toy channels don't really do. I want to inject a little bit of lore, something that might set this channel apart from the rest of the toy reviewers out there. So I'm going to start with Lobo, Portrait of a Bastich. This is a compilation that compiles the first two Lobo miniseries. The first one is Lobo by Keith Giffen and Alan Grant, written by those two, the late great Keith Giffen, who only recently passed away, with artwork by the amazing Simon Bisley. These are gruesome, violent stories about the last Zarnian. Lobo is the last Zarnian, much like Kal-El is the last Kryptonian, except Lobo is the last Zarnian because he killed every other Zarnian in existence, making himself the last. So he's a badass bounty hunter. And yeah, that first miniseries is kind of on a little bounty hunting quest. And in the second one, Lobo's back. You can see that artwork that some of you might find familiar from the McFarlane action figure. In Lobo's back, Lobo ends up dead and in the afterlife. And he comes back and ends up back in the afterlife a couple of times. And until he finally ends up in his, I shouldn't spoil anything, but look, awesome read, Lobo and Lobo's Back. Another little rare find is this Lobo box set that I have. I've got a lot of graphic novels, a lot of trade paperbacks, but check it out. OG DC logo right there, hell yeah. This one comes with 3 little trade paperbacks. One is called The Last Zarnian, which is that very first Lobo miniseries. The other is Lobo's Greatest Hits. These look like they're faded. I don't know why that is. They've just lived in their slipcase, but check it out. The Wisdom of Lobo, and the entire book is empty. Hilarious. Got some postcards as well there. I reckon this set goes for a pretty penny online. But I'd never sell it because I love the main man. All right, back to the toys. Peace. Hooly dooly, that's a big bloody space hog. That's a saying that we have in Australia. It's actually a very common saying. It's been around for decades. Not originally about space hogs, funnily enough, but here it is, guys, unboxed. Check this out. Could this possibly be a new era of accessories for McFarlane Toys? Are we in a bold new renaissance or something like that? Because I don't think I've seen this many accessories in a gold label or a platinum set or any McFarlane set for that matter. And I'm thoroughly impressed. So let's start by going through everything one by one. We have the main man himself over here. Some slight differences with the OG McFarlane release, but we'll get into that later. Big bloody space hog right here. Much bigger than I thought it would be. And I'm not going to lie. It's pretty nice. I will make a comparison to the DC Direct Spacehog that I also have. And yeah, they're pretty different. Loving the look of it. Down here we have our little guy Dawg. We can bring this closer to the camera and see that he's got his little flight cap on. He's got a little spike on the top there. He's nicely painted. Sadly, no articulation. McFarlane has not caught up to the G.I. Joe classified line in that regard. I think this guy would have been amazing with some articulation, but he is actually painted beautifully. I'm really digging this. There's a little peg hole down the bottom there to mount him on the back of the Spacehog. Let's move over to the stand. Pretty cool. Was not expecting to get the Lobo logo on there, but here it is. There are some inscriptions there on the stand. Smile dipstick. Smile dipstick. Awesome. And frag, you're welcome. Love that. Frag, you're welcome. Alrighty. I guess thanks, Lobo. Thanks for fragging me. So this metal rod here, I believe, is the stand that the Spacehog will mount onto. And then this will likely just fit nicely into the base like that. We've got Lobo's chain. I'm assuming it's exactly the same as the previous chain that came with the OG release. And my goodness me, folks, an alternate head. Can you believe this? Can you believe the bold new era that we are living in? Alternate head, and gotta say, this is a pretty sick accessory. New guitar. Yeah, it is hollow, but like, who cares? I'm not going to be looking at this side of it, but look, it might be hollow, but they've included a cute little Lobo logo on the back there as well. It looks like there's some portholes here for something, but I'm not sure where that would go, especially if you're... Oh, hold on a second. I think that would mount here on the base. Just like so. Yeah, I think that's exactly where it goes. Well, that's where it goes, guys. Yeah, definitely where it goes. Okay, so the guitar mounts on the bass as well. That's pretty cool, I guess. I like that. And do you know what? I'm going to lift this up and I'm going to show you guys that, no, the Spacehog is not like hollow like some accounts, some people have been saying online. I mean, the front of it is, but I mean, that's just the front of it, right? I wasn't really expecting that to be super solid or anything. I would have been disappointed if this was hollow, but that's what I thought everyone was banging on about online. But no, this is fine. This feels solid enough to me. I mean, yeah, it's hollow plastic, but like, did you want a thick, solid version? I don't think so. I didn't. Let's take a closer look at Lobo. That is an alternate head sculpt from the one that came in the OG. And I think he's looking pretty badass, right? Got the Bite Me Fanboy painted on the back, which I thought was just such an excellent feature of the original figure. And one of the things that just made me need that figure, even though I've got several other Lobos in my collection. Absolutely love this touch. Just the best thing about the figure. I mean, how many figures in this day and age can you say are painted with like tampos on the back like that? No, in fact, like Black Series are so notoriously guilty of just leaving paint apps off the back of their figures altogether. So the fact that we've got this awesome thing on the back still is just a beautiful touch. Alrighty, I'm going to get to some comparisons. Catch you in a bit. Okay, I'm back to do a little bit of a Lobo action figure history lesson. I've got my little array of main men, my big bad Bastich boys, just sitting on the table in front of me. And I think I'm just going to have a little look at each one, maybe compare the DC Directs, compare the Multiverses, and then finally compare the Spacehogs. And gotta compare the Dawgs as well. Gotta compare the Dawgs because, you know, definitely an action figure in their own right in this set, even though, you know, no articulation. But look, let's start with the little guy here. JLU, Justice League Unlimited Lobo. This guy was an exclusive. Pretty sure I ordered him off mattycollector.com. Great figure. Awesome. Love those JLU exclusives. I have a few other JLU exclusives. I've got some Parademons, a Special Dark Side, a Calabac. I have a Solomon Grundy, and yeah, this guy. So yeah, love this. Got rid of all my old JLU stuff back in the day, but yeah, kept these exclusives. Off he goes. Let's keep whittling down this display as we go. What next? Let's have a look at the DC Direct reactivated. So this guy was a re-release of this guy on the Spacehog, but he was released during the DC Direct reactivated line. That head sculpt, not great. This guy was a like contemporized version of the original release. Body's mostly the same, but the head, yeah, they gave him the kind of dreadlock vibe. But yeah, it just looks like he has a mouthful of toothpaste there, because there's not much definition between his mouth and the rest of his face there. Love the metal chain. And yeah, you know, in classic DC Direct fare, more of a statue, not much articulation, you know, pretty standard stuff. But yeah, the chain here, I reckon NECA with their TMNT and the Mikeys with actual chains on their nunchucks. Maybe they took a little page out of the DC Direct Lobo book here, because so good having a figure with a chain as a weapon. Yeah, let's keep whittling down. Let's take this Lobo off of his Spacehog here. Very, very awkward set, these two. The Spacehog and this Lobo were probably not designed for each other, because he does not sit on there perfectly. So look, with the exception of a few paint details, like the color of the shirt, this is like a mustardy kind of olive. And the head sculpt, which I've got to say, love this hair. Way better than the reactivated. Metal chain, not much difference. This one's way better. Look at that scowl. Look at that face. Yeah. For a figure that's like, you know, almost 25 years old, he's pretty badass. Yeah. Still holds up, I reckon. Spacehog kind of still holds up, but when you compare it to that beast, it's, yeah. Not sure he holds much of a candle to it. Let's do Dawg next. Let's grab old Dawg. Whoa, new Dawg as well. So we've already had a look at new Dawg. Let's have a look at old Dawg. This guy, great little sculpt, great paint apps, pretty basic. Looks like a mean little fella. I was going to say another F word there, but we'll stick with fella. Trying to keep it PG on the channel, folks. No portholes underneath. Little dog butt. Yeah, so like, you know, love this guy. Kind of main reason for the porthole, which makes him more of an accessory. You know, he interacts with the set. You can pose him on the set, rather than this guy who's just like a little, you know, bonus animal that you just kind of like sit off to the side, you know. This guy actually sits on the Spacehog, so I reckon I've got to give it to the McFarlane over the DC Direct, especially because flight cap. Look at that, little flight cap. How cute is that? All he needs is his little scarf flapping behind him, right? And the goggles on. Cutest dog ever. But don't let Lobo hear you calling him cute. Let's keep going. Let's compare the McFarlane figures. So, this guy on the right, OG release, guy on the left, Spacehog release. Let's compare the alternate head with OG head. Gotta say, I like all three of the heads, Maybe this one's my least favorite, but it's still pretty awesome. Got that evil grimace there. Love that. Teeth are painted nicely. Gums look great. Yeah. Hair's sculpted beautifully. Just love this weird like grimace that this guy's got going on. You know, it kind of evokes a bit of Bisley. This guy's got like a chin strap beard going on, whereas the other two have the mutton chop thing going. Just look at that head sculpt though. Like, I'm so glad that they gave this guy this badass double neck guitar with whatever that is in between them, and gave him like a rock out face. That is just super cool. Love that. Yeah, both great figures in their own right. Let's have a look at the back, because I did notice some difference on the tampo, the logo on the back of the jacket there. So, or the vest, I should say. So on the right, the OG, the Bite Me Fanboy, it looks a little darker, looks a little messier, looks a little too clean and bright on the new one. Not a big gripe, but you know, Lobo's pretty rock and roll character. I kind of prefer the darker and messier version, but yeah, definitely not a deal breaker here, especially considering how much I love this set. So yeah, not a big deal really. Noticing that the paint on the belt buckle and the greaves on the new version are a little darker than the buckle and the greaves on the OG. Also not a huge deal. Also, shinier pants on the OG. Just check out that shiny crotch there. Oh boy, lots of definition. Ooh, double butt there. Yeah, definitely shinier pants on the OG. But look, not a deal breaker by any stretch of the imagination. Lobo in this new set is bad ass. Hell yeah. The main man. I was not going to get this set, but dude, how could I not have with a figure that just looks this dope? I mean, seriously. And McFarlane with the two head sculpts. Is Todd starting to give the people what they want? Is this the DC Multiverse Renaissance we've been waiting for? Is this the Spacehog comparison that we've been waiting for? I think it could be. Let's have a look at the OG first, the DC Direct. Look, DC Direct, those toys were not made for posing. They were not made for playing with. So, you know, I actually think that in many cases, those toys were not made to be opened, because the amount of times that I've opened up a DC Direct action figure and it has fallen apart in my hands, I can speak to this set in that I tried to put this handlebar inside of Lobo's hand one time and it just clear snapped off the peg there. These are supposed to rotate. But yeah, the handlebar kind of snapped right here where my nail is pointing to, snapped clean off, had to super glue it back on, and from that point on, I just stopped trying to put the handlebars in his hands and would just like rest Lobo on the seat there. So yeah, look, this is a really nice little piece. It is. It fits nicely on the shelf. You can pose lots of figures around it. It won't take up heaps of room, and yes, it is a vehicle. But this, like, size isn't always, it's not the best measure of quality, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's late at night where I am, folks. I've had a long week. Please excuse me for not being able to speak. So even so, this Spacehog is just sculpted beautifully. The paint is just right, and Lobo just, he deserves a big Spacehog. He really does. It suits just the epicness of the character. I've posed Lobo balancing on the seat standing on the seat of the Spacehog, playing his guitar. You know, it just suits the epicness, it suits the grandeur of the character. And I honestly think that that this is the superior Spacehog. I really do. But you know what? I'm still going to display them both in my collection. They are both very dear to me, even though I've had this one for almost 20 years and this one for about 20 minutes. So I love them both. They're both going to be centerpieces of my collection for a long time to come. So with that said, I'm going to move on, get to my final thoughts, maybe do a bit of posing, and then cap this thing off. Catch you then. What's up, guys? Here to give you my final verdict on this figure. And look, this isn't going to come as much of a surprise. As you can probably tell, I'm a big Lobo fan. I've got the comics, I've got the toys, and this set right here is the best of the bunch, the baddest of the bunch. This is the mainest man right here. This is the biggest, baddest bastich of them all, right? This set is the tits. It's got it over the DC Direct. It's got it over the Justice League Unlimited. And you know what? I had the DC Universe Classics exclusive from back in the day, the one with the 3D glasses. And man, this has it all over that one too, right? This set is amazing. Look, he comes with a guitar. He comes with a face that suits the guitar. He comes with an alternate head, which is just, look, please, Todd, more alternate heads, right? He comes with an awesome dog, and he comes with this amazing Spacehog. It's just an awesome set. He comes with a bass with the Lobo logo on the bass and a space on the bass to fit the guitar. Did that sound like a Dr. Seuss? It kind of sounded like a Dr. Seuss. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is this is definitely my favorite of all the Lobo action figure releases. And you know what? I'm just going to go out there and say it, right? Maybe I'm not the most objective of reviewers, but this is my favorite DC Multiverse McFarlane Toys release yet. He's my favorite. I just honestly cannot think of another individual release by McFarlane that has got me as jazzed as this guy. So I gotta say, I'm pretty stoked that I kicked this channel off with a review of my new favorite McFarlane set. So with that said, I'm gonna bust out of here. I'll finish with some posing, and you know what? If you're watching and you liked any of what you saw, please leave me a comment, hit me with a like, and hook me up with a sub. That'd be great. So look, if you like what you saw, give me some love, and I'll catch you on the next one. I'm Dave, coming at you from the Dave Cave. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time. Peace.